Tonight, 2 Georgia teachers are in custody accused of inappropriate contact with students.
Now, it happened at a private Christian school in Greene County. That's about 80 miles east of Atlanta. Atlanta News First reporter Yasmina Alston live at the GBI headquarters in DeKalb County. And Yasmina, the GBI is looking into these separate cases at the very same school.
Yeah, that's right. And I can tell you the GBI arrested that first teacher on Friday, and then the second teacher was arrested today, but the GBI has not said if there is any connection between the 2 cases except for the location.
2 former teachers at the same Greene County school are in jail for allegations of sexual contact with students. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says 25-year-old Bonnie Elizabeth Brown engaged in sexual contact with a student while she was a teacher at Nathaniel Greene Academy. Brown was arrested on Friday, but the Greene County Sheriff's Office asked the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to investigate the allegations on June 14th of last year. Then on Monday, the GBI confirmed that 60-year-old Sherri Mauldin was also arrested after investigators say it was confirmed that Mauldin engaged in sexual contact with the student while she was working as a teacher at Nathanael Greene Academy. Both women are being held in the Greene County Jail as the investigation continues. We called the academy on Monday afternoon and were told the women haven't worked at the school in quite some time and the school would release a statement at a later time. According to the school's website, they offer classes from elementary level to high school level.
And the GBI is encouraging anyone with information to contact the Greene County Sheriff's Office or to contact the GBI as this investigation continues. Live in DeKalb County, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
And we're going to dig in and learn all about the school and the teachers and the crimes. Stick with us. So what we've got here is a school with a shady history. 2 teachers, and there's more to that too. There's only 1 victim, but for some reason the news station doesn't know if they're related. Let's dig into this case and find out everything about what's going on here. You probably are aware that I like to set the stage for these kind of crimes, so the first thing we're going to do is dig in and find out all about the school. Right after my overly obnoxious trigger warning, roll the intro.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines where the sun don't ever shine. I will shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I am going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. Shiver. Oh, my girl, don't.
This resulted in their student population adding 0 minority students to the roster in the 1970-71 school year. The Nathanael Greene Academy, or NGA, is located in Siloam, Georgia. I do give them credit for not naming the school after a Confederate War participant, but rather a Revolutionary War hero. I find it amusing that this Christian school is named after a man who turned his back on his Quaker faith in order to fight in the Revolutionary military. Let's start with a little background on the country's mood when the school opened. School desegregation began in the U.S. in 1957, creating a violent and tumultuous time in the U.S. In 1959, people in Little Rock, Arkansas threw rocks at 9 black children who enrolled in the formerly white public school. Prince Edward County, Virginia closed its public schools from 1959 to 1964 to avoid desegregating them. As late as 1974, there were riots in Boston due to court-ordered busing. Throughout the 1960s, Southern churches opened private Christian schools known as segregation academies. These schools only enrolled white Christian students and still received tax-exempt status. NGA was one of these schools, opening in 1969. The school had purchased a closed school campus of 5 acres and 3 buildings from the county for $100. That property was later valued at $24,000 for tax purposes. Their original enrollment policy didn't last long officially. In 1970, the IRS created a policy forcing private schools to publicly announce racially integrative enrollment policies in order to maintain their tax-exempt status. NGA complied with this policy by publishing a statement in the Greensboro Herald-Journal which stated, Nathaniel Greene Academy will accept all students who make proper application and who pass a standardized entrance examination. This resulted in them adding 0 minority students to their student population in the 1970-71 school year. It might have been due to the fact that their tuition was $400 with a mandatory $250 charitable donation to the school per student. That's about $5,300 today. For perspective, the median income for a black family in Georgia in 1970 was over $2,000 below the national average for that demographic at only $4,000 per year. So this school's tuition and mandatory giving would have been about 16.25% of the family's total yearly income for each student enrolled. In 1970, the school had 247 students. Currently, registration is 85 students. 80 of those students are white and 5 are Hispanic according to nces.ed.gov. The school is in a county where whites make up about 59% and black about 31% of the population. Yet its student population is about 94% white and 0% black. On a completely and totally unrelated note, the history page of the school's website states, the school was organized during the summer of 1969 by a group of parents and interested citizens who sought a traditional college preparatory school which would also include prayer and religious education. Many of these original founders, their children, and even grandchildren are still actively involved in the school. In case you didn't know, traditional is classically coded language in the Christian rite for white. Now that you know all about the school, let's take a look at the perpetrators of these crimes. So I wonder, did it take Sheriff Harrison's employees 6 months to notify him about this case, or did he sit on it for 6 months before he forwarded it to GBI? Sherri Mauldin is 60 years old and graduated from NGA in 1983. I do not have information on when she began working there, and the only information I have on when she no longer worked there is from the school statement that says it was some time ago. Bonnie Brown is 25 years old and graduated from NGA in 2017. I do not have information on when she started teaching there, and the only information I have on when she no longer worked there is the school statement that says it was some time ago. No, that's not deja vu. They're pretty much the same. Yes. This case is about 2 women who both graduated from this school, then later came back to teach at this school, and while teaching at this school, molested a student. Sometime before June of 2024, students from the school began reporting to their parents that another student was engaging in sexual activity with 2 teachers at the school. The only information we have about the victim right now is that they are under 16 years of age. We do not know their gender. I will assume they are male in this video because reports seem to lean that way. In June of 2024, allegations were made and the Greene County Sheriff's Office was asked to investigate. It is stated that Sheriff Donnie Harrison stated that he forwarded the case to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, or GBI, when he received it. The GBI was contacted about it in January of 2025. So I wondered, did it take Sheriff Harrison's employees 6 months to tell him about the case, or did he sit on it for 6 months before forwarding it to the GBI? When GBI received the report, Brown was teaching at Wilkes County Elementary School in a neighboring town. It took GBI about 3 months to gather enough evidence to make arrests. On March 21st, 2025, Brown was arrested and charged with improper sexual contact by an employee. According to Justia Law, the actual title of the code is Improper Sexual Contact by Employee, Agent, or Foster Parent, Consent Not a Defense. This law is broken when an agent, such as a teacher or parole officer, has sexual contact with someone they should have known was under the care or jurisdiction of the facility or organization the individual worked for, and the perpetrator knew or should have known. The penalty for this crime is 10 to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $100,000. On March 24, 2025, Mauldin was arrested and charged with the same crime as Brown, as well as charges of aggravated child molestation and statutory. Aggravated child molestation happens when a person commits an immoral or indecent act with someone under the age of 16 for the purposes of sexual gratification of the child or the person, which results in physical injury to the child or includes sodomy. This is punishable by a term of 25 years to life imprisonment. Statutory rape happens when a person engages in sexual intercourse with someone between the ages of 14 and 16 that they are not married to. Let's put that last piece in perspective. There are already exclusions in the law stating that the perpetrator must be over 18 and at least 4 years older than the victim. What the fuck are 14 to 16-year-olds doing marrying adults in Georgia? Anyway, statutory rape is punishable by between 10 and 20 years in jail. All this means that if convicted, Mauldin is probably never getting out of jail, but Brown could be out in as little as 10 years while she's still not even 40 years old. Currently, Brown is out on bail and I am uncertain of the status of Mauldin. I do know there is only one victim listed in court documents, and they state that both women knew the other was involved with him. That's all the information I have on this case right now. But I finally covered one of these cases where I have plenty of time left over for the final thoughts section. Let's talk about this and similar cases for a minute or two, shall we? This is the 8th teacher predator pedophile case I've covered on this channel. If you haven't seen the others and would like to, you can subscribe, and after I've covered 10 of them, I'll be compiling all of them into one long video. This next paragraph I need to read so that I don't get anything wrong. These cases have been from various states. 2 of them involved other countries. One of the cases even involved someone teaching military personnel's children at a school on a military base. The perpetrators have been both men and women. The victims have been both male and female. This is the first case I've seen where the penalties or possible penalties were anywhere near what I would consider adequate for these crimes, so I do gotta give Georgia props on that one. This is also the first one I've seen where the school is so clearly complicit in the crimes, another portion that I have to read so I don't get anything wrong. The school has less than 90 students. Other students were aware of the abuse. Other teachers were aware of the abuse. Both perpetrators are alumni of this school, but you expect me to believe the administration was unaware until it was reported to the police? I'm sorry, but my IQ is higher than 60. This Christian school was originally set up to evade federal desegregation laws, which means that the people who set this school up showed a disregard for federal law in the name of Christianity, which teaches give to the government what is the government's and give unto God what is God's. It also teaches to obey the law of men where it does not contradict the laws of God. The only logical conclusion one can draw from that is that these people who founded this school thought that educating children of different colored skin in the same building broke God's law. On top of that, the school proudly proclaims that these people and their relatives are still in charge of the school. So we have a group of people in Georgia who believe that God wants people to be separated based on skin color and aren't afraid to break federal laws in order to facilitate that. And those people are running a school where it is discovered children are being molested by the staff who are also alumni of the school. How is it not obvious that this school is a problem? In a completely unrelated note, children at this school range in age from 3 to 18 years of age. In another completely unrelated note, Georgia is ranked 10th in the country for incidents of white supremacy. I think it is well past the time we told churches that the separation of church and state does not apply to schools. It only applies to what they teach in their religion classes. However, all other oversight conducted on non-religious school needs to be conducted on religious schools as well. This school admits that they have a teacher working there who has no degree, for fuck's sake. By the way, if you are Christian and your blood isn't boiling about what schools like this do in the name of Christianity, you would be on the top of my list to investigate. What do you think about all this? Let me know in a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, as always, super thanks and channel memberships are super cool. And now, I got a jam, so tag, you are it. On a completely and totally unrelated note, the history page of the school's website. So I wonder, did it take Sheriff Harrelson's employees 6 months to notify him about this case, or did he sick